indeed, and greetings upon you. Yes, you, beloved and holy friend. Not holy because you're better than anyone else, but because you are whole. Beloved, not because you are mine, but because you are loved, infinitely loved, more so than I could ever tell you. But I'm going to try to, I promise. I'm going to continue trying to tell you how much you're loved. Into infinity and beyond. I appreciate you, friends, for finding yourself in the space with me today. I want to talk about the hands of the universe, you know, and you as an actual hand of the universe. This idea of if the universe wants something done, right, it uses your hands, uses you as the hand to do things. If the universe wants to say something, uses you to say the something it wants to say. If the universe wants to see something, it uses you to see the something that it wants to see. And just to kind of like think of ourselves as that, instead of thinking of ourselves as these human beings floating through the infinity, having no other purpose than just to exist for a momentary blimp of the of the infinite that we're going to be experiencing, but to see ourselves as the active hands of the universe, right? Like the universe and our biology at this point is like a technological marvel. Your body is the highest form of technology on this planet, and it's you. It is you. It's, and now we're figuring better technology out. I mean, it won't be better, it will be different, but now we're extending that capacity. We're extending our ability. We're growing our hands and all of the pies that we have our fingers in at the same time. Kira Burb is joining me on B, and Isaac is here as well. Shannon should be here on the YouTube already. Beloved friend, thank you so much for joining me. Isaac says, "Love you, friends. Love you." Thank you for the starstruck on B. Yay! It's smile time. Melt is streaming. God, God, that makes me smile, dude. I can't do that. We'll both be smiling back and forth into infinity. This sophisticated tech farts a lot. It does, and even the fact that it farts is a technological marvel in and of itself. Like you put food into your face hole, and then it turns it into methane. Like, what a trip, what a trip! And then you fart that methane out, and technically that methane can be lit on fire. Excuse me. Just imagining, like I kind of like to imagine aliens, and this is technically a faulty way of thinking, and I know this as well, right? Like if there are aliens within the infinity, they're more likely to be less evolved than we are right now, technically. But for some reason, when we think of aliens, we think of these hyper technological aliens. So when I think of aliens, I do the exact same, and I imagine this hyper technological type of alien species who have transitioned to the point where they only eat energy. And then explaining to them, right? Like I showed my mom this video today of these acrobatic dudes that two dudes hold onto one another and then jump on a pad, launching another dude that is standing on a pole that another dude is holding, and that dude standing on the pole is holding another pole with a seat on the pole, launching another person into the air. Person, pole, chair high, and then landing on that chair super gently, and then having a cushion to fall on. Like I'm like, what the fuck? Why would you do? Why would you do that, humanity? And to try and explain that to an alien, it's like you're doing what exactly? Why would you do that? Well, we're just the hands of the universe. Sometimes the hands of the universe wants to just for the funs of it. Why not? If not, why not? The universe is spicy like that. Oh, look who it is. Dan the man. I'm so happy to have you here today, Brother Bear. Dude, I got to share your chat, the chat that me and you had. I mean, bits of it with my mom as well. My mom was reading me these quotes about. Mm, it was in the context of what I usually say to you, friends, if we're going through something difficult, in breathing. Like we have breathed through everything we've been through, all of the difficulties. We were there breathing through it. And like she shared something with me in the same context of strength or time, or it's basically the same understanding. And with that, it kind of got into this whole topic of what we're expected to do right now. If we're the hands of the universe, what kind of work would we want to be doing? If the universe wants love as an outcome, what type of work do we have to do? And I got to share some of the exchange that me and Dan had with one another, and the amount of growth. It's so ridiculous, right? Like the fact that we're here right now, and it can be just me and you, literally just me and you, and it would be more than enough. Just me and you, two people, will be able to grow infinitely, legitimately, because as the infinity continues, as days goes by, things will change in our environment, and we'll have things to comment about, and then depending on the comments that we make, we'll notice things about one another, and depending on the things we notice about one another, we can comment on that, and then depending on the comments we choose to make, we'll notice things about one another. There is infinite amounts of growth to be had just by spending time with a single person, and the fact that we can do so, that one-on-one connection through multiple different infinities at the exact same time, multiple nodes of the same universal hands, listening, saying, appreciating, feeling, whatever this is. Like if we are the hands of the universe, where we can think of our own hands, being kind of sensitive, and we can feel things, and I can pick up sticks, and I can write things down. Just imagine how complex you are as a hand of the universe. Like you can digest food, you can come up with interesting ideas, and you can sing. And like I'm of the opinion that no matter what sounds you make, even if you're just talking, you're still singing. I think of all language as singing, where I give a verse, la 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 la, and then you're like, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la la, right? And it is back and forth, and we get to dance, we get to sing with one another, and to think of it in this context of the universal hands meeting one another, greeting one another, shaking hands, it is such a trip. It is such a trip that we get to do this. The fact that we get to be at all is absolutely beautiful, and I appreciate you for choosing to be here with me within your beingness. We've got Jazzy joining us today. Oh goodness, now extra intimidation. Suddenly I have to say all of the words extra good, extra perfect. Am I doing the opposite? Yes, maybe. Am I doing it on purpose? I do not know. Adult coloring books here. Ooh, man. Like, do tell me what you're coloring in right now, please. Or what Jazzy is coloring in, so I can have that little fractal in my head while we continue with these streams. I'm going to pack myself a little bowl. I've been falling back into old patterns. Let me say it that way. I've been falling back into an old words. I've been falling back into old patterns while at the same time melting away others. I've been melting away the pattern of self doubt. I've been melting away the pattern of self pitying. I've been especially trying to melt away the pattern of complaining about things. That is a big one for me. Not complaining about things. And it really has helped me to think of myself as the universal hands, right? If I'm the hands of the universe, and I'm gonna use this handedness to complain about the things that my hands have already realized, instead of suggesting how it can be fixed. It is such a surreal experience. Like yesterday we got to kind of like go through that whole pattern as well, talking about the fact that my mom's gearbox is broken again. Like just that, right? Like we can complain all we want, but that isn't gonna fix anything. We can complain about the state of our world, but that isn't gonna fix anything. And it's this weird paradox that I'm facing with inside of myself of not wanting to complain about things while at the same time wanting change, wanting things to be differently, wanting information that is going to be so definitive that I know exactly what needs to be done next, right? And I feel that is something we all would like. We would like to actually know what we can do And I feel it's so difficult, especially during the times we are in right now, where we have access to so much information, we have access to so much power, while at the same time, like I don't want to say this because it sounds mildly like a complaint, but at the same time, being disempowered as people, where the schooling systems we found ourselves in weren't exactly there to empower you. They were there to force this narrative of you are going to get judged based on your ability to retain information. I'm going to give you instructions. And then if you remember the instructions I give you word for word, then you're good. But anything outside of that range of, acceptability is unacceptable. And like, what has that done to our humanity over the last 100 years? To be so conditioned to this understanding that you're not expected to be creative. You're not expected to be uh, a change. You're not expected to be a node of consciousness. You are expected to be a gear. You're expected to do a certain thing. And I legitimately think forcing yourself into remembering a certain set of information in a certain sequence is like literally adding these geared grooves into your own personality, into your own personhood. And my sister, like I had a hard time at high school, a hard time during my primary school years as well, because I just could not be bothered. I could not find myself invested in that story. And like I was always told by my teachers that, oh, you are underutilizing your potential. You could be doing so well in school if you just applied yourself. And no, 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 right? And then my siblings, they kind of went through the same thing. But my sister, the youngest of us all, she's top in her grade, literally number one in her entire grade or age group, right? Because and I see why. Like, she's so invested. She's so invested into studying. She makes notes. She does so much work. You see, like I watch the amount of work she puts into something, and I wish that we had that same amount of enthusiasm for ourselves. Like, if we're going to do conscious work for this world, to be able to do it in a way that we're so dedicated, that we're so convinced that this thing is going to bring good. And with like a schooling system, we do certain things, we remember a set of information, and then we get a good grade, right? So there's like a very direct correlation between the amount of effort we expend to actually write these things down versus what happens, versus what the outcome is, versus how we perceive our performance. Where in the outside world, our actions have implications that spread beyond our comprehension. On a real and a visceral level, everything you do is going to affect everything beyond what you can even imagine. Like, you could, say hi to someone, with a friendly face, and then 50 years down the line, you get a job because of like the turn of events of that hi, and that person feels a little bit better, and then they say hi to someone else, and then that person they say hi to, they actually, fall in love with, and then because of that high and them falling in love, they eventually get married and they have kids. And then because of that kid, meeting this other kid at school and then befriending them, goes to their house and then meets this person and then gets to show them a part of reality. And then that person ends up giving you a job 50 years down the line, right? Like, that is a rudimentary example. And it could have even more implications than just that little example. And to see ourselves in that way, like, we're not only the hands of the universe, but we're affecting things in a way that we cannot understand. And to realize that we have that power, to take responsibility for that power. Brother Brandon, Uncle Becky himself, joining us on the YouTube. Thank you for joining us here as well, Brother Bear. It's nice to have you here. Speaking from experience, that methane can be lit on fire. I do want to know the context of that information, Dan. I do actually want to know the context. But I think I already do know the context. I have only in part thought about doing it, but Like I remember people telling me that if you burn a gas, it has the potential of going back into the vessel that produced it, creating combustion, and then destroying the vessel within which the gas was contained. So I know that it doesn't work that way, but for some reason that was enough of a understanding for me to be completely deterred by the idea. I'm going to take a puff of this bong. This little symbol apparently is supposed to be a bridge to your higher self, the moons, Christ consciousness, Om, the original sound, the peace symbol, the Ouroboros, the self eating snake, the wheel of Buddhism, the atom, the eye of Horus, the third eye. Is there more? There we go. And then the yin and yang. Two sides of the same infinity. Being the hands of the universe, as the hands of the universe, smoking the universe, to experience more of said universe as universe. Hmm. Yeah. that will that'll definitely do it. Oh, hey. Good morning, Jazzy and Mr. Isaac. Thank you for the love, Gob. I appreciate it. Red clicker. So much love to you, friend. Thank you for sharing love, even though you don't know who it is you're sharing love with. Howdy, good morning, Chingadira. I don't think I've heard of them before. What is a Chingadira, Uncle Becky? Chingadira. Does sound kind of fancy. For some reason, Chingadera in my mind is some sort of alien species who really like decorating themselves with things that make noise. You know, they've grown and they've evolved to this point where they realize that they had to keep being quiet during their survival stage of their existence, because if they made too much noise, the predators would know they would be there and they would get eaten. So when they evolved to the apex predators of their planets, they became the Chingaderas, decorating themselves with a bunch of little thin pieces of metal as they're walking around. Ching, 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 ching. Chingadera? No, yes. Now it is. Thank you, Uncle Becky. I gotta get ready to blow dry fancy doggies. Gob. What a joy it must be, dude, to have dogs as your clients. You know, they don't. Maybe they complain a little bit. I was gonna say they don't complain, and then I saw a husky, and I was like, maybe they do complain sometimes. It's Spanish for thingy-mabob. Of course it is. Of course it is. Oh, it's just a chingadera. You know, you want to see my chingadera? Sorry, that came out not the way I intended, but it's still beautiful nonetheless. Great day, Gal. Thank you for joining us, Red. It's such a pleasure having you here. Eden, beloved friend, love to all the beautiful humans. We did early morning farmers market. Woohoo! Finally, I'm happy to hear that. My mom and my sister also went to a bazaar, which is almost like a farmers market, but only because farmers donate produce and then the church sell those produce. And I had this conversation with my mom where I was like, the bazaar. Why? And she was like, oh, to gather money for the church, she says to me. And I'm like, oh, okay. Why? She's like, oh. And I'm like, "Um." And she was like, well, they didn't really give us a reason. They were just like, we're going to gather money for the church. I'm like, all right, that's cool. But don't the church already get money with like tithing and stuff? Oh, yeah, no, they do. Hmm. Mm. I hope the farmers market was amazing. I hope the actual farmers at least got to see the wealth of their work. Thank you, Eden, for buying yourself some beautiful fruits. We had so much rest, new edibles from a dispensary last night. Zoinked us. Today is a beautiful hike on a beautiful day, trying to find a good spot to hang up our hammocks and color. Man, that's a beautiful fractal. Huh? And again, right? Like I would really like to encourage us to think in this way more and more, to rejoice in other people's happiness, to see surely Isaac and Jasmine going out. Oh man, my stream just decided to peace out. I'll start up again, but to see, like Isaac and Jasmine going out into the world. There's a kitty cat on the front page, Coco. Coco being a cat. That is very much a cat like Coco right there, if I've ever seen one. Mm-hmm. Live again. So to see, Isaac and Jasmine going out into the world, going out into nature, trying to find a place to hang their hammock, even though I might not be doing that right now, even though you might not even have the opportunity to go out into the world and hang up your hammock and spend the day, coloring in an adult's coloring book. We can still see that as the hands of the universe enjoying things, right? Like to identify with the universe so fully that anything the hands of the universe does is your hands. It's your experience just as much as it is their experience. And to rejoice, to actually be happy for other people's happiness because you know that it's you. It is you experiencing that as someone else, you know? And it's this whole trip of reincarnation where we like the idea of reincarnating, but we are attached at the same time to that idea because of our egos. You know, you will be surely alive again, but you won't be this. You won't be you. You won't be me as you think of yourself as when you say this is me. You point yourself in a photo, right? You only pointed yourself in that photo because that's the person you've seen in the mirror. But if every single time you looked at yourself in the mirror, you saw a version of yourself that you have been, you would be so dissociative that you wouldn't be able to function as an ego in this world. A hand of the universe doing things, picking up sticks, flipping people off, shaking people's hands, petting dogs, picking a flower and bringing it to your nose and smelling it, feeling the lovely texture of a blanket, putting your hand in icy cold water, running your hand through the perfect temperature bath water, being able to pop bubble wrap, being able to feel smooth things, feeling dirt as you rub your fingertips together, right? Like these are small things in the grand scheme of the universe, and yet they can be such beautiful experiences. And as far as I'm concerned, in this moment at least, we all have those experiences to a like a varying but definitely same spectrum degree. Like where if I touch this stick right now and I hold the stick, it won't be that much different to you touching the same stick and holding said same stick, right? I pick up pen and I hold the pen and I look at the pen. You will be having the exact same experience looking and holding the same pen. I might be thinking something else, but again, that thinking mind is this brain, it's this ego, it's this current story that it tells itself. But on the most fundamental level, the observer sees the exact same thing. And to notice that you are that observer, and that observer is within everything, Giovanni. Lina, Isaac. Uncle Becker's. Everything. It's in everything. It is you within everything as the hands of the universe. Like this body is the hand to this awareness that you are. Like it's the thing that allows the awareness as is you to touch things as a hand does. It's the way we influence as the universe. How the Wiseek family is over here since Reddit is a tater. At least we have the YouTube, you know. I'm really happy that the YouTube is such a stable option, to say the least. Is Pippi? Is that a bowl? I think it might be a bowl. I thought for a second Pippi stole a tomato or something. But that is definitely a ball. Melt into the hands of the universe. Yes. Melt into the hands of the universe. That one is going in the thing we're saying book. 100%. Melt into the hands of the universe. You, as the hand of the universe, melting into yourself right now. Every breath you take, that relationship deepens. Every moment you spend paying attention, that attention grows more beautiful. Every opportunity that you get to share love, all of it within your current experience. Thank you for the wholesome seal of approval and for the love. Do you know if weed harms your liver? I'm not sure, friend. You know, something that's interesting about weed, and this is the closest fractal that generates of that, Leonard, is that when we eat marijuana, our liver turns it into something called delta hydroxy 11 THC instead of it just being normal tetrahydrocannabinol, right? Like it's like, well, nine. No, I think it's something nine, right? Like, or active when you're combusting it and smoking it. So it turns your liver turns the THC molecule into a more potent compound when you eat it. Why would it do that? You know, like if psychedelic experiences or consciousness altering experiences were things to be avoided by our biology, why would it make us experience more of it? You know, and the same thing goes for like psilocybin, you know, the compound produced by psychedelic mushrooms. Like that psilocybin in and of itself is like a serotonin molecule, but it has this little phosphate group on it, like a little shtick that has a little cross in it, and then it has, you know, molecules bonded to it. So when you eat it, it like dephosphorates that thing. It's just like, yeah, this little piece here makes the molecule not want to bond with brain. So I'm gonna be like, nah, I'm gonna take this away. And then it takes those molecules back up to your brain. Why? Why would it do that? Why are you doing that, buddy? For what? Why are you doing that? Not only that, but then it has more of an affinity for your receptors than your own naturally produced chemicals. Fuck. Hands of the universe, friend. Your hands of the universe grabbing something from the ground and then having an experience that allows you to recognize yourself as the hands of the universe. You're completing the trip, looping it up. Thank you for the starstruck again on B so much. I appreciate the love you friend share eternally. Eden on the YouTube. I think it's the first time. Oh, I think I've missed a few. Whoa. I missed a lot. How did I miss so many? Of course, the stick is here. Of course, and I felt like I had to bring it today as well, Melita. I mean, it might be just coincidences, but who knows? Yes, it is Chanel in and out. She's enjoying the porch. Beautiful. Oh no. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yes, it is us and Chanel in and out. She's enjoying the porch. Is that your cat? Isaac, what a trip, dude. What a trip. I'm not sure if that's the thing you just said. Oh no, you lost the description of our pictures. Oh, I did. Please do it again. But you were talking about the things you're coloring. I'm joining here. Thank you. Is it the Reddit? Okay, no. I thought the Reddit dropped again. Hey, Professor Goo. Goeiemiddag aan jou. Gaan het my? Ek voel die laaste ruk bietjie in my eie kop. Bietjie te veel in my eie kop. Waar ek rarig ek voel goed. Ek voel goed meeste van die tyd, maar op dieselfde tyd dink ek aan wat ek kan doen om beter te voel. Jy weet, dis bietjie van 'n paradoks. Ek sukkel. You're like, what the fuck is what's happening right now? I'm saying that he's asking me how am I. He's just like, good afternoon. How are you? Gewoon video, basically. It's Saturday dance time. No, it's not Saturday dance time. Dabs. You'll have to, spin the lottery, donate like $1 billion to me, and then like you have like 1 in 3 chance of me to actually dance. I wanted to dance today, but I didn't. I don't have my speaker here right now. Maybe if you're like really adamant on the dabs, maybe you're like fucking shaking the cage. I want, I want dance. Maybe then I'll dance. Who knows? But anyway, so like my answer to Goo about how am I feel I'm happy. I'm happy, but I'm in my head in the way where I'm thinking about things I could be doing to be happier. And that's a weird paradox to find myself in because I am happy and I'm satisfied and I feel fulfilled and I feel calm. I feel calm in knowing that I'm okay. While at the same time thinking I should be doing these things because if I do these things, I'll be happier. And it's like fucking oh goodness, Reddit is catchy. Oh, it's okay. We're talking about some serious stuff today, so maybe it's like a little bit much. I do understand Reddit. We love you so much. Love you, Reddit. You are Reddit, friend. You do realize that, right? Reddit isn't some website. Reddit is you. You are Reddit. If it wasn't for you liking what it is you like, looking at what it is you look at, posting what it is you post, upvoting this live stream right now, being in this live stream right now, then there would be no Reddit. So thank you, dear Reddit friends. So much love to you. Mm. Mine is a trippy picture of a fox in front of a shrine with 5 floating Iniri masks and a host of melting characters like Ghibli films on acid. Mm. That's nice, dude. Hello again, dearest friends from a new spot, Eden. In this same moment, through a different fractal. What a trip. Jasmine is underwater scene on a plat on a Jasmine's is an underwater scene of a palace in the background, a big axolotl in the front, a bunch of floating mushroom islands and a bunch of floating mushroom island meteors and satellites and crystals shooting in crystals form, I'm guessing, shooting from the islands. That one is more difficult to imagine than the previous one. So a castle, an axolotl, and then like stuff flying, and then there's like mushroom islands, and then there's like crystals growing out of the mushroom islands or something. Sick! So freaking radical. Thank you for that fractal, by the way. Edibles are actually more psychedelic. Yeah, they are. You're completely right, Melita. Why? Why would your body be like, yo, this whole cannabis thing, Like, sure, it works when we're smoking it, but let's uses your freaking biology, proteins, folds things, literally does chemistry in your body to make it more powerful. It's like, here, boss, we did the job, and suddenly you're, whoa, what the hell's happening to me? People convince, like, I feel edibles, people convince themselves they're dying more on edibles than any other drug. Like, I have such a suspicion, because goodness, people can really get so freaking paranoid and up in their heads with cannabis. Especially edibles. Oh goodness. I have this friend, I won't say his name, but he's studying to be a doctor. I think he's almost finished. He might start actually doing his rounds or whatever you're supposed to call it. But he basically, we make these edibles, these little gummy edibles, and he has one of them. And I can see he's definitely having a time, but he's having a good time. And I'm like encouraging him because this is one of the first times that he was taking it, and he was like sharing his enthusiasm for how good of an experience he's having, and I was kind of like feeding back into that, being a feedback loop for him in that moment, giving him what his hands was grasping for, greeting him. He was like, oh, please greet my hand, and I was like, okay. He was looking him in the eye like, I know who you are. I know who you are. Anyway, and he tells me that he thinks now he's ready. still in this experience, like for double this dose. And I'm like, I don't think that's a good idea. Because these things are exponential. Like it isn't going to feel twice as good if you take twice as much. No, that's unfortunately not how it works. And he's like, "Ah, dude, don't you worry, I got this figured out." And I'm like, "If you say so, boss." You say so, God. Yes, I just say yes to him. I was like, okay. And then the next day, he has a friend over, and he convinces this friend to also take two edibles with him. He takes the two edibles, and he basically comes out telling me taking these two edibles, and he's going to go and fetch another friend. And they take his car, and they're gone for a few minutes. And me and my friends are sitting on the porch, like having conversations and smoking joints. And we we hear someone honking the horn outside the gate, and we're like, who's coming? Who needs to honk to get in? And we open the gate, and it's this friend's car. And I look into the window, and someone else is driving the car, and I'm like, I know exactly what's happening right now. And they've opened the doors, and they're like basically carrying this dude. They're like, locked in, shoulders locked in, carrying him to the couch, laying him down. We play some music, and he's convinced like he's dying. He's like he's dead. Man's dead. And he's like, I think I need to go to the hospital. I'm like, dude, you do realize nobody has ever died from a weed overdose. You're going to be fine. Breathe. And I just sat with him there, and like now he's like scared of it. Now he doesn't want to go, into any of it. Like he's completely averse to a cannabis experience. And just seeing that as well, like as soon as it becomes a thing where you grab more than you could handle, grab onto a cactus, and then you cannot let go of that cactus until the cactus is done with you type of experience. Yeah. Goodness. It was beautiful trying to help him through it though. Ed, Shannon, me too. Happy to be here together. I love the fox. I love adult coloring books that require a patience that I do not have. I always start and never finish my toxic trait. Eden, it's present in me as well, right? And I feel maybe, if anything, we're looking for something specific. Maybe we haven't exactly found what that might be. But, she's chewing holes in the blankets again. Yeah, I see you. I can see you. Yes, with my eyeballs. You want to come and sit on my lap? Pretend like you did nothing wrong? What did I do, Dad? Me? No, I'm a little angel, Dad. No, I don't do things. Yes, you do. I know you do things. You silly thing. Mash. Okay. Happy day. 5:13. Edibles. Yummy. Happy Saturday, people. Thank you, Lisa, for joining us, for sharing this moment with us, friend. We're talking about being the hands of the universe today. Actually, being the hands of the universe. The universe touches things as us, with us, feels things as us, with us, makes changes as us, with us, like has the ability to affect things, right? Like the universe is beautifully infinite, but on the scale of realistic, immediate, intentional changes, the closest it's gotten, at least, in this fractal that we've experienced so far, is us as humans. Like, look at how much we've done. Just imagine how much more we can do if we really align with what the universe wants. What could happen, friends? What's going to continue to happen? The Reddit guru. I don't know about that kind of stinks. I don't know about that, friend. I do appreciate it, though. I feel the word guru is overused. That's the thing that bothers me. It has a whole fractal in people's minds already attached to it. And that's the problem to me. It's not so much the word itself, it's just what my mind conjures up when I hear that word. And it's not exactly what I see myself as. I don't consider myself a teacher alone. You friends teach me more than I could have ever learned from any school. Like we've had so many moments where I might have held a certain opinion, and with you friends sharing what you understand about the whole, I've allowed myself to grow with you. So like this is a two-way stream, friend, where I don't think being a guru necessarily is. At least not the way that gurus present themselves on the internet right now. It's usually this, let me tell you what's going on, yo. Like, you're so fucked. I'm sorry just to tell you, but like you're so wrecked, and this is actually how you should be doing it. And no wonder your life is so fucked up. I'm like, hey, relax, dude. I'm doing fine. Just because I'm listening to you doesn't mean I'm in some sort of existential dread or I'm not coping with reality. How about you chillax, right? Like, yeah, that is not exactly what I want to be. Like, we all got this. We all freaking got this. Like, we're as equipped as we can be to be reality, and all we have to do is lean into that power. Realize just how powerful we are. Going forward, that is the ideal. That every single one of us, are the teachers. Every single one of us have the capacity, the perspective to teach each other something else, because literally each and every single one of us has a different perspective on the same infinity. So no matter who, literally no matter who, even if you completely like even if a person is telling you things and you're like the complete polar opposite in every conceivable way of that person, you can learn from them in that polarity. You can be like, this person is so fucking wrong, this is why I think I'm right. Right? You might not be right, still, but this is why I think I'm right. And this is what feels like the truth, the rightness to me. And then it allows you to see from your perspective again, even more clearly by allowing other people's perspective into yourself. Let me guess, you do psychedelics occasionally into the nuclear winter. Are you high? I did smoke some marijuanas, a few seconds ago with the intention of being the hands of the universe, experiencing the hands of the universe as the hands of the universe. I think something like that, and it's treating us well. How about you, friend? How are you feeling? Rosie sending her love. Thank you for joining us, Rosie. How's it going? My daughter loves Mel. She gets the phone once in a while. Oh, so much love. Thank you. Thank you. I hope that this message today, resonates with her as well. To see herself as powerful. Like I like to imagine, maybe it's a fantasy. It's definitely a fantasy, but I imagine what it would have been like to be a kid and to understand in part the things that I understand right now. Like oh goodness, at one point in my existence, I really didn't see the point. I didn't feel anything other than lonely and lost. Instead of present and here. And it's the exact same polarity. It's the exact same spectrum of things that we're experiencing. It's just about the story we tell ourselves about it. And then at the same time, I realized that if I had this story, maybe I wouldn't be the way I am right now. Maybe I would be even more, right? Like, and we can argue that, but maybe I would make rash decisions because of it as well at a young age. Maybe I wouldn't have made the bad decisions I did that allowed me to grow in the ways that I have grown up until this point. Like, it's so difficult to really form an opinion on whether or not you know what you're doing or not. Hmm? You know what you're doing? You do? What the? How? How do you know how you're doing? I don't. I mean, like we're actively figuring it out, right? And I feel like we're getting better at it, if anything, and we're allowing ourselves more time to actually be human. And the future we're going into is going to be one of such hyper technology that we won't be expected to do things, not as we are expected to do things right now. So the thing that we cannot not do is be human. And the thing that we struggle the most with while being human is being happy, being present, being grateful, being here now. And it's going to be the most important skill for us to master going into the future we're heading into, because if we cannot be happy having everything, then we might as well have nothing. And we're facing that reality as well at the same time. You know, you can see humanity struggling with that problem. It's a trip. That's adorable. She's so wonderful as well, and so attuned. You know, highly into it. Are you? No, I'm not, friend. Not really. Rosie, thank you. A a firework. Mm. An actual explosion, sending little burning embers of color flying to the sky, creating patterns in the field of our existence. A sunset. Is it a sunset? The pictures are so freaking small. Maybe not a sunset, but a mountain range in front of us and a body of water that cuts through that mountain range. Seeing the reflection of the sky, the color of the mountains contrasting it. Mm, beautiful. And a city with a moon lighting, like crescent moon lighting it. I imagine all of the people, every single little light that is on is a consciousness experiencing. And in this moment, there might not be many that share with me, but I can appreciate the moon shining over all of these people all the same, for these people all the same, as these people all the same. Hmm. I think that might be a sunrise over some mountain ranges. Imagine being right smack dab on the top of a mountain, the tallest mountain, and then seeing these massive mountains just creating these peaks as far as it goes into into your field of vision, beautifully green, and then the sun rising, you know, creating this beautiful red glow being cast over the mountains. You can see shadows and red being cast onto the mountains as the sun rises. Yeah. Next one. Uh, full moon looks like a little hut and the wind. I don't know what that is. Full moon. I have a small little hut in the middle of nowhere. The wind is absolutely terrifying. It's howling. And yet, I'm sitting inside of my stable little home, drinking a coffee. No, I wouldn't be drinking coffee at night. Drinking a tea, staring at the full moon, listening to the wind, feeling the angst and the safety as the moon watches over me as well. Hmm. City looks like early dawn, maybe. Maybe a little bit later dawn, actually. So, city, a little bit later dawn. Everybody has already rushed to get to work. And there is this moment where people are just getting into their office spaces. And the collective consciousness starts to get into this pattern of busy work. Maybe for a moment, there was a sense of freedom, a sense of space, a sense of presence before we start pouring our consciousness into something other, but just allowing that. Hmm. Looks like another firework. I can't see that one. I think maybe that's enough. Sending Rosie love. So much love. I hope you have a great day, Rosie. Thank you. Rosie says that she can't stop smiling today. You deserve to smile, Rosie. You deserve to feel amazing about this world. You deserve to have hope. You deserve to imagine a future for yourself that is filled with love and light and flowers and butterflies and, beautiful animals playing freely, not being scared of human beings not being scared of them, being able to breathe the air outside, being able to go swimming in the ocean, feeling fish brushing up against your legs and almost dying inside a little bit. Oh, you deserve to imagine a life that is worth living. You deserve to believe that life is worth living. Can I be a foot or the ear instead? You are both, Desperate Ad. You are both foot, ear, nose, buttocks, everything. That's the point. Like you are the hands of the universe is but an analogy. Hands in the way that our hands can do things. Like I can use my hands to pet Pippi right now, right? And she's having such a vibe. Her little universe is in a state of happiness, state of oxytocin, because I'm using the hands of the universe to give that to the universe, right? And that's the thing for today. Just to imagine yourself as the hands of the universe, and if the universe has one statement, and this is the statement that I believe the universe keeps giving me over and over again, is when I trip out, when I pretend to be separate, it's like, hey, oh, love is true. And I'm like, oh, fuck, you're right. So if you are the hands of the universe, and the only truth the universe accepts is love, be love. Be the expression of love with you as the hands of the universe. Going and sharing love with people that you don't know, with the people you do know, of the plants and of the little animals. Like if we all did that for a minute today, what would that do for us? You deserve a smile, Mel. Thanks for sharing your positivity with us this fine Saturday. Thank you for finding yourself here with me this Saturday. So many of our friends are out there enjoying their Saturdays today, being the hands of the universe in their lives, giving the universe what it needs right now as their lives. So thank you. Thank you, Desert Dad, for choosing to give to me as well, friend, as the hands of the universe. Sending such a beautiful message. I appreciate that. That is the best. Please tell her thank you for sharing that. Now I'm smiling. Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful? Like I feel so inspired. I genuinely feel so inspired by Rosie right now, brother Ryan. It's making me so conscious of what I'm choosing to say in a way that makes me happy. It's like I feel like taking into consideration what I would want to say to a child is what I would want to say to the universe as well. Coming back to yesterday's message of everything you say, everything you do, everything you think, God says yes. And if God was a child in front of you right now, what would you want to say to this child, which you would want them to say yes to say yes back to you? These cheeks can clap. I consider those options for sure, my friend. You are so loved, Desperate Eye. So, so loved, friend. Thank you for finding yourself in this moment with me. Quad 5 on the YouTube just now. Got to be present for that one. Man, the birds are so beautifully singing. I heard this theory yesterday that I wasn't necessarily resonating with, but it was an interesting thought experiment, where this speaker, I think his name is Diego, maybe, he talks about the fact that everything is an illusion, literally everything is just an illusion. And the little birds you're hearing right now are not actually there because the sound you're hearing is originating from your ear, right? Vibrating and then sending that signal into your brain. So that thing doesn't actually exist. It's just you projecting it there by hearing it here. And then I was like, no, I get what you're saying, but I'm not exactly sure so much about that. But then I noticed that that is technically what we do with separation as well. When we're unwilling to consider ourselves as the hands of the universe, right? And it's just another analogy, another way of saying that We are that expression of God, that expression of the infinity, that within infinite experience, you, right? Like that is truly what I mean when I say that you are the expression of the infinity. That we know, at least in part, that our universe is infinitely expanding, right? And within time, our current time, with the age of the universe as we know it, is infinite. And then, like, we have now more and more theories of multiverses as well. So, multiple different universes existing simultaneously as a potential for experience. And then, within all of this infinitude, this now, you now, instead of not being you now. It's ridiculous. It's so crazy. Idealism. It's an old idea. I'm not pretending to make these things up or to be like, yo, let me tell you how it is. I'm here to change the day. No fun. I just kind of explore whatever comes up in the moment, and then you might be experiencing something similar. You might have thought something similar before. You might be thinking something similar right now. And then we get to explore these ideas together. So please, Fanochi, share some of your ideas with me, friend. Like, what do you feel? What do you feel? I don't know if you mean idealism is the idea of us being the hands of the universe, but what do you feel when you hear those words? Like, what does it mean to you when I ask, "Are you the hands of the universe?" Right? Like, it's an odd question, and I don't think we necessarily get asked it a lot, but it is one that fascinates me. Like, I have such a respect for hands in a weird way. Like people, human beings, the things that we can do with our hands. Like imagine a sculptor, for example. Some of these ancient white marble sculptors sculpted, fabric folding over skin and skin protruding through that fabric in marble with hands and tools, of course, but they were using their hands as the guiding instruments for the tool. Like what? Some of the drawings that we've seen by human beings, being able to create things from mind through their hands into this realm of existence. People that can paint with like beautiful precision, like painting straight lines on cars, for example. Something so like, oh, it's a straight line on a car, Mel. Yes. And yet I can do that with my hands. And that person has hands just like me. So why are his hands so much different than mine are? And then thinking of that to the extreme of your entire being as one of those hands, and your entire being as one of those beautifully crafted, beautifully unique hands that can influence this world in such a beautifully unique way that people might be looking at the outside and be like, what? My hand can't do that. Why can his hand do that? But that's not the point. We all have our own hands so that we can do what we can do with our own hands. And to the people out there in the universe that don't have hands right now, we are moving towards an age where we'll be able to give you hands through brain computer interfaces and robotics. Hold on tight, we'll give you hands as well. I think that can't be verified. I mean, can anything be verified, Funichi? Are you real right now? You know? How do I verify that? Can I verify that the person that is Funichi, I think it's Funichi. The person that is Funichi exists. Might be a robot. Might be a projection of my consciousness on the other side of the world as me projecting towards my consciousness. You might not even be real. None of us might be real. Or everything is real. Funichi. If we're gonna get caught up in whether things can be verified or not, we'll never get anywhere. Human beings have a little bit of a history and not waiting for things to be verified before we start actually acting on them. Who needs tears? Who needs them? Huh? Who needs tears? Sometimes we do. Sometimes we do. What's interesting to me is the fact that depending on your state of mind or mood, the tears that you produce are different. And I don't know if that's actually a fact or if I just got bamboozled by imagery. But even as a thought experiment, wouldn't that be interesting? Like your hands do different things, right? Your tear glands as your hands of making tear duct liquid. Please bear with me, right? So depending on how you feel, your hands will be like and then creates a certain molecule in your tears, and then you're like feeling differently, and it's like that's something else. It's a whole trip. I went to school with a dude that already then had written several books with his eyes, IR laser sensor, and this is 25 years back. No, dude, please. Ozzy, are you sirs? I went to school with a dude that already then had, I'm guessing, like, read several books with his eyes, written. Like, he wrote books with his eyes. I'm not sure if that is what you mean right now, but IR laser sensors, infrared laser sensors in your eyes. Am I getting bamboozled right now? Probably. I want to believe it, like with every fiber of my being. Sometimes we do indeed. Sometimes we do indeed. Who needs tears? And it's not something that we should be ashamed of. I feel, in the society we live in right now, we're so scared of being judged or being seen as weak or being seen as oversensitive that we have created a society, especially amongst men right now, where we're not allowed to express ourselves. Like, and I feel it started with our parents, with our school systems, right? Like, oh, don't cry, be a good boy. Oh, are you strong boy? Yeah, strong boys don't cry. And then like having this nonsense perpetuated in our minds. You can cry, friend. Please, don't let me change the video. No, friend. I mean, this is literally what it's about. I wouldn't be live, Funichi, if I didn't want you to change me, to change this video. Like, you are the hands of the universe. That's the whole point of this stream. You need to mold the universe as you want it to be, friend. Literally. So, whatever it is you want to share with us in this space, whatever it is you feel is laid on your heart right now, send it into the space and then see how my hands of the universe receives it and then sends it back to you as an opportunity to be like, yo, but how about and then send it back to me. This is how these streams work, friend. So freaking cool. No, you. No, you. For real. He had very little control of his body, almost no muscles. Okay. Okay. Hey, what's that? What's that? What is that, actually? It's a piece of plastic. Pippi really likes carrying things around and chewing on them. I had a tear purge last week, to be honest. It had build it had build up methinks. It had build up methinks, I'm guessing. Many days of crying. Who needs tears? It's okay. This is what Pippi is carrying about. She really wanted to give it back, and I really do not want to give it back. I'm sorry, Pippi. Like, it's plastic. You might swallow a piece of it, and I can't have that. No, can't have you swallowing plastics. No, cannot. It's okay. Thank you for sharing as well. For giving us permission to do the same, Who Needs Tears. Like, if you friends need to cry, please spend some time crying today. And I know it's easier said than done, and sometimes it happens very sporadically for me as well, where I'll just be washing dishes or whatever, and then I'll be like, fuck, suddenly. So, like, allow yourself that moment. You don't have to be strong. Strong people cry as well, especially, actually. Oh man, so much relief. Thank you for sharing. Genuinely, who needs tears? We need a reminder of that as well. I got to share this with my mom. My mom said this to me first. Like sometimes we need a reminder of the things we already know. And I was like, yes, that's my job, mom. That's my job. Like, I'm not pretending that you friends don't know these things, but sometimes it helps to have a little bit of a reminder. Little bit of a reminder just to notice the things that you might not be paying attention to. Just like that. If I'm ever reincarnated, I mean, I probably can't. Let's let's pretend. If I'm ever reincarnated, I would like to come back as a dog. I would like to come back as a dog on like a farm with very loving owners, like this little one. Like absolutely blissed out ceaselessly. And she's not getting scritches. She's running around in the grass. She's not running around in the grass. She's laying on her back, plague of something. She doesn't really like it that much, but I do kind of like her in a little baby position. It's my baby. It's a baby. It's a baby. She's like, no, I'm no baby. I'm a big girl. I'm not a baby, Dad. I'm not a baby. I can fight you. I'm not a baby. You see, big girl, yeah, I can fight, play fight and stuff. Yeah. I ain't no baby. I ain't no baby. I can bite and stuffs. I can bite and stuff, Dad. Don't you know? Don't you know I know babies? You know babies. Aren't you big brothers? Suddenly drama. So much drama. What do you see? Huh? Little drama queen? Like it's okay to be human. So okay. I feel very human right now. Mm, so calm, non-concerned. I know there's nothing I have to do. That the hands of the universe only does that which it wants to. Allow yourself that, friend. Realize you have that power. We are not robots. Not yet, at least. I mean, on the scale of what robots are, we are biological robots who needs tears. Like you can think of DNA as the code, and then that code codes for proteins, and then those proteins codes for cells, and those cells code for structures, and those structures together code for an entire being. And well, like we're that. So like we're kind of like robots. At least if you think of robots the way we would like to robots to be. Like we're hyper advanced technology, biological technology, but extremely advanced. And us as human beings, this form we're in right now is the best technology we have on this planet. Like really good stuff. And it's really nice to be a human. Like we should rejoice in it, but we do lament more than we appreciate it sometimes. I used to put my kitty into baby position. It was her favorite. Lucky fish. Pippi doesn't like being in baby position. Like I feel like she's genuinely she used to like it when she was small, but now she considers herself a big girl. So she wants that power. She doesn't want to be incapacitated. No, I'm strong. Don't you know that? I'm strong. Big and strong. Just saw a bear cub eating amanita in the forest while the bear in the woods are playing. Oh goodness, how beautiful. Little baby bear eating amanita mushrooms. Hmm. I know it has psychoactive compounds, but I don't know if the bears actually react to it. Give me the baby. Loves milk. Thank you so much. Interested on you? I appreciate you, friend. It's been a while. Thank you for the love that you share. A butterfly landed on his paw, and then it started to rain, and it ran away. Azimutton. That's a beautiful fractal as well. When she became geriatric, her old bone started to hurt, so then the baby position wasn't ideal. We found other ways to cuddle. Thank you, Who Needs Tears, for spending time with your little cat for that long. You know, our cat is also super old, and we were concerned about him for a while. I think he got a little bit sick, and he wasn't eating for like weeks, and we tried everything. And only recently, like I'm giving him tuna right now, only recently he started eating the tuna, and he's now starting to drink milk as well. And technically, milk isn't the greatest for them, I know, but he asks, right? Like he's the hands of the universe, and he asks. He's like, "Bro, please, please milk, please, meow 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 meow." And I'm like, "You meow 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 milk milk?" And I'm like, "Meow meow 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 meow." And then I'm like picking him up, putting him on the freezer so he doesn't get bothered by the dogs trying to drink his milk. And he's like so happy, and being able to see him just drink milk again and seeing him eat is such a pleasure. And he's actually coming around right now, like he's looking significantly better. We take advantage of other animals too much. I do agree, fun. Fortunately, like I think there's actually a whole project starting up now. That's something like 12,000 square feet factory that is going to be completely dedicated to synthetic meats. Like we're moving into that age as well right now, friends. If in the next 10 years on our shelves are going to be lab grown meats, we won't have to eat animals anymore. We'll eat animal cells instead. And we can grow those cells with more efficiency than we can grow animals in nature. Less methane produced, less water used, less fuel used. Just grow the meat cells. And I'm actually pretty okay with that. I know it might sound like a yikes, right? Playing God or whatever you want to say, but the hands of the universe. Instead of taking that animal, we can be like, okay, animal, I'm gonna take a little piece of you, and then I'm gonna put you here, and then with the hands of the universe, I'm gonna fill that thing with the same thing that you are, and then I'm gonna cut that thing up instead, and then serve it to people. So no more harm. Woo! We live in a cool age. We live in such a freaking cool age. We just have to acknowledge the beauty of it, right? Like it's gonna be weird, I guarantee, and there's gonna be uproar about every single step of the progress we make. But if we keep choosing love, love will be our truth in it. We cannot be anywhere else other than in this moment. So we might as well be loving of everything in this moment. Have other babies and nobody gets have hand over the babies and nobody gets hurt. I'm so proud of you for letting that out. Thank you. Who needs tears? We love you, friend. How old is your old man, Kitty? He is 14 years old. Yeah, 14 years old. I mean, I don't know if that is too old for a cat, but that is kind of old. Like 14-year-old cat. That is some years, yo. He's been around. He's been around for a long time. And he's been drinking milk for the whole time. So even though they might not necessarily be lactose tolerant, 14 years of milk drinking and he's still kicking, I think he's okay. Hoppy! It's nice to see you here. Or was it Hoopy? Give love a chance, then give it another chance. And then repeat until fully enlightened. Love is true, friend. It's like the one statement that I keep coming down to. Love is true and melt more. You know, like if I keep repeating love is true, or if if love is true becomes repeatable in my head to the point where I'm like, oh goodness, then I'm like, hey dude, this anxiety you feel of the realization just how true love is, how about you melt more? How about you relax and then melting into that love? Woo, woo, woo. Oh goodness, an everlasting chain of love. It's the only way. He's getting up there for sure. My little lady got to 23. Your boy has the potential of many, many years left in him. I thought they lived only like until 12 years, so I thought he was already pushing past his not recommended, his expiration date. That sounds even worse, damn it. Oh, he's doing well, and he's been happy and he's been a loved cat for the whole of it. He's gotten so many scritches in his life. He's gotten to live on a farm. He's such an explorer as well. He really likes going and seeing things. I wonder sometimes how much he spends walking at night, catches mice, gets to live the life. Hey Hoopy, I hope you're having a great day. Thank you for that. Aunt B, who needs tears, says I firmly believe, as do others, including her vet, that it was love that got her to live so long. I 100% believe that. Who needs tears? Bingo is going for 18, going for 17 now. Like he is so old, so old. But I genuinely believe that the reason he's alive still is because of love. And when I came back from China, he was like on death's door. Like he was about to die. And then I started, loving him again. I was like, hey, dude, every single day, I'm like, hey, dude, fucking see you. I see you, little universe. And now at least in my opinion, I might be biased, but I think he looks better and is more active than he was when I came back from China now almost 2 years ago. So he's lived 2 more years and he looks more lively now than he did back then. So like he's a champion. What a machine that dude is. Mm, oldest kitty on record. It's 30 plus. 30 plus years cat. Yo, what a dude as well. Hello, folks. Hello, Eric. Thank you for joining us, friend. How are you doing with the bear? Right back at ya. Thank you for the love, Hoopy. I love stopping by your streams. It's nice to have you here as well, friend. That's crazy, melty, amazing what love does. It is. It really is. And, my parents, they think it's woo woo when I say stuff like that. I've said that to them, where my dad has asked me if he can help Bingo to the afterlife. And I'm like, excuse me? Hey, excuse me, what the fuck? The fuck you gonna say to me? And I'm like, no. And he's like, why not? I'm like, because he's still alive. Like he might not be able to see, he's extremely hard of hearing, and that those two in combination makes him a little bit of a nuisance sometimes because he just stands in places. He just stands there. And then people walk where he's standing and he just doesn't hear, doesn't see them, so he keeps standing there. And sometimes people have things in their arms, so they might not be seeing him either, so they trip over him. And then there's like an anger because of that experience, and I'm like, this dude is like blind and deaf, but he still goes out and he goes and lays in the sun, right? He can still feel the light of the sun. He still eats food, he still drinks water, he can still have that experience of drinking water and enjoying his food, how much enjoyment there is out of that. So he's alive and he's choosing to continue living. So I don't think we get to say if he dies or not. Like he's earned the right to live as long as he wants to. You keep changing my name every time. It is Eric, isn't it, Eric? Mommy's pretty boy. Oh, it's Enzio. Ah, damn it, that is it. It's Enzio. Like I was trying to remember your YouTube username, friend. I know who you are, but I'm trying to add more fractals. Mm. Hello, mate. How's it going? Very well, thank you. Hope you're well as well. Thank you, friend, for joining us. I do have to go and give water back to the universe, and I feel this is as good a time as any to say goodbye to you, friends, today. What a time we had exploring the idea that we are the hands of the universe. Might not be true, might be more true than we know, but whatever you choose to believe, it is going to be your truth. Minaro boy, thank you for joining us as well, friend. Love to you. Please take good care. I will if you do too, friend. Thank you so much. hopping off the soaking the day, then we're perfectly in tune, Aunt B. Thank you, friends. Thanks for the good times and good thoughts, Melty. Thank you, friends, for sharing yours with me as well. Have an amazing day. I'll see you, friends, again tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone. Oh, I think I've missed so many of my YouTube comments, but maybe it's a good time to actually read them. Some mushrooms can be smoked, though. What? For certain procedures needs to be done with them. I don't actually know that, Melita. I smoked mushrooms. But someone told us that if you smoke the mushrooms and the smoke gets in your eyes, you can go blind. So way messes with goggles. Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. I'm going to take this opportunity of Corey and Fruit Cup napping to go on a peaceful dog walk. Love you guys. Love you, Eden. Thank you, friend, for sharing some time with us. We are the farmer, the tree, and the fruit. That is right. Dancing. I vote yes. Maybe Shannon. I feel a little bit tired. I feel like I've been really in my own head as of late, and I still am. I still am a little bit. Enjoy Eden. Much love. Peace. Post the pics in Discord. Please do. Well, we were last night. Watch Adventure Time and it was fantastic. Oh, dude, thank you for sharing that little fractal with me, Isaac. Untitled, hello, friend. I missed you. Serial thriller. That is why moderation is key. I agree completely. Everything you've experienced is what has made us who we are today. Everything has happened exactly the way it was supposed to because here we are now. Couldn't agree more. And I know that as well. Within the infinity right now, as we're smack dab in the middle of it, melt into and out of the illusion. Floating back and forth. Me and Kayana are heading out to the lake, sending love to Jovan and Kayana. Pippi, her little face, she's adorable. Thank you, Shannon. I think I'm the only one here. I think you are. It's only me and you right now. Have a great day, everyone. So, so much love to you, Melton friends. Melton, you. Shannon, that's what I was like saying a little bit ago, right? Like even if it's just two people, just me and you, I can technically be here alone, in theory, and still there is a connection. There is a moment of growth. There's experience. Hands greeting one another. Thank you for sharing these moments with me. I hope that you felt. That's all I can really hope for with these streams at the end of the day. Not so much if I taught you something, not so much if I, succeeded in any way, shape, or form, but whether or not you felt. Love you, Shannon. Love you so much. I think I've already one. Have an amazing day. See you again very soon. Goodbye.